Well, hello, this is Jason with another Fragrance Now video. So let's go ahead and get started. I've been presented with an interesting opportunity by Robert Elder, who is his own perfume house is Sebastiane, and I will put information about that in the video comments. So he sent me 5 samples and I told him I would review these, and so these came in pourable 1 ml, I think they're 1 ml vials, and I did smell them, and if I'm not honest in this review, it's not going to do me any good or anybody else. So my first impression was they did these 4 out of 5 of these fragrances did not go over that well with me. So I thought maybe it would be helpful to put them in atomizers and see if there was a difference. And frankly, there was a difference. And so this is a lesson to me that sometimes a fragrance is different when it's sprayed as opposed to poured. And so something to really keep in mind when checking out fragrances. The other thing that I want to say is that this is just my opinion. It might be just my nose and my brain. And so if, you know, I don't want you to take my opinion and necessarily completely make a decision whether you want to try these based on what I say. So I will try to be objective, but I'd also like to, give you my actual opinion if this, for example, is something that I would buy or recommend. So what I've done is I've put these in sprayers and I've numbered them and mixed them up. So I don't know what I'm going to start out with. I've picked one. Number 2. Now I don't know which number 2 was, but I have the descriptions here, and I will refer to it when I'm through with sniffing. So we're going to try number 2. And you'll know what this is by the time I spray it, because it's going to be in the beginning of the video. But okay, let's see what we have. Whew, wow. Yeah, if I remember right, this one I think maybe Wish Upon a Star, but I'm not quite sure yet. Okay. From on the top notes, I'm getting kind of a somewhat of a grassiness. I get almost like a peach. There's some kind of it's like fruity vibe in there, but also there's like kind of a chalkiness, almost like concrete. It reminds me of like a concrete sidewalk or a concrete floor. There's like something dry. But I'm not so sure that I'm a fan of the way that this opens. It is there's kind of a dryness that seems to spread through the whole fragrance on top anyway. I'm not sure that I care for that, but as is the case with that I found with 4 out of 5 of these, when they dry down, I have a better feeling about them. The dry down in some of these is pretty nice. So I'm going to actually I'm actually going to rub it in a little bit, and I don't know if you can see that at all or not, but it is very oily on my skin, and to me that's a sign of a well done fragrance. I'm imagining that these are all Perfume or close to it. I don't think that there's any problem with longevity or projection on any of these. They are definitely potent, that is for sure. I'm not getting a ton of change on this as it dries down, but if I remember right, it does change. So while that's happening, while that's drying down, I'm going to take a look at what one this was. Oh, actually, it's Urban Legend, and I originally said Wish Upon a Star, but when I was talking about the concretiness, in my mind I was thinking, oh, I think this might be Urban Legend, because I remember thinking about that one. And I suppose that fits. Maybe there's like a concreteness, like being surrounded with concrete in a city. And so this is what we have. Top notes are orange, is orange blossom. So I said kind of a peach, kind of peachiness. It's kind of close. Okay, now here's the thing: as this starts to dry down, I actually begin to like it more. It starts to become a little bit more like kind of edgy, a little more spicy. The heart notes are vanilla, ginger, and we have, it says aroma molecule. Not sure what that is pertaining to, but I do believe that, yes, there is a gingeriness that starts to come out. And that's a little bit more pleasing to me than the top notes. The top of this, it doesn't come across to me as really orangey. It's more that kind of concrete-ish, peachy-ish. I probably would be like this fragrance more if it was more orangey on the top. Again, this is just my perception. The base notes is tonka bean primarily, and I do get that in there now that I know that's in there. Okay, so I had a little bit of a technical problem yesterday, and so I'm continuing the video today, and so I had to respray, and I'm waiting for this to dry down again. So while that's happening, I thought I would tell you that this fragrance, as well as the other 4, are available from indiescents.com in 60 milliliters, which is pretty much 2 ounces, for $85. You can get a 1 ml sample for $5, or you can order the 2 ml sprayers for glass sprayer bottles for each of these for $21. All right, and so that's the case for all of these fragrances. All right, it's starting to dry down. When this dries down, it starts, I like it better when it dries down. It gets kind of incensey and maybe it's slightly tobacco-y, to refresh myself of what the notes were. Tonka bean in the base. So I get that a bit. I get more of an incense, and I actually kind of like this when it starts to dry down. For me, the opening of this is just not very desirable, and if it was more citrusy, spicy citrusy on top, I would probably like this more. If you think the description of this is something you like, certainly check it out. Order a sample and see what you think. You know, I mean, this is my nose and my brain, so certainly might be different than what your perception is. As far as who can wear this and when to wear it, I don't really have a sense of that yet, other than the bottom of this might be better in colder weather. I would think that this is probably a cooler weather fragrance, but I'm not quite sure at this point. So I hope you like this review, and stay tuned for the other 4, which I will be posting after this one. Take a look at the links below. Please subscribe and comment. I would love to hear from you. And give me a thumbs up if you like this video.